On October 16, 1923, Walt and his brother Roy opened a cartoon studio in Hollywood, California called the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio. The studio, now known as the Walt Disney Company, had a massive impact on the entertainment business and is today one of the world's major media corporations. In May 1922, Walt Disney established his first professional film studio, and he registered his new corporation, Laugh-O-Gram Films, with the Missouri Secretary of State's office. Walt Disney's work at Laugh-O-Gram gave him the skills he needed to have an amazing career as a movie producer. Alice's Cartoonland was the title of Walt's final Laugh-O-Gram picture. Virginia Davis, a 4-year-old girl, was cast as the character in his new Alice Comedies series. Walt's idea for these cartoons was to feature a little girl who, due to a variety of events, would travel to Cartoonland and interact as a live-action figure with animated creatures and animated surroundings. Walt unfortunately declared bankruptcy shortly after finishing the first Alice animation. He gave up on trying to keep his Kansas City studio open because he didn't get paid for the cartoons that he made under a contract with a church-based group out of Tennessee. Walt saved up all of his money to buy a first-class ticket to Los Angeles on the Topeka and Santa Fe Railway. In the late summer of 1923, he left Kansas City with a cardboard suitcase that held the one-reel Alice cartoon. From 1917 through 1919, Roy Disney served in the U.S. Navy. After he came down with tuberculosis, Roy was released from active-duty military service. He was living in California when Walt first asked him if he wanted to start an animation business. Soon after, a New York distributor named Margaret Winkler, who was the first woman to produce and distribute animated pictures, commissioned a series of Alice comedies at $1,500 per reel. This contract was given to the Disney Brothers on October 16, 1923, and this date marked the start of the new Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio in California, with Walt Disney and his brother Roy as equal partners. To make this series, the brothers started their own company, and then they asked Virginia Davis and family, who had worked with them before, to move to Hollywood to make it happen. In the back part of a real estate office on Kingswell Avenue in Hollywood, California, Walt and Roy Disney officially founded the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio. The site where the Alice comedies were filmed cost $10 per month to rent. Walt was the company's creative brain, while Roy was its business brain. Both were required. Walt's efforts, creativity, and talents were all his own. Roy was responsible for the financial success of the entire Disney operation. Because of how smart he was with money, what started as a small animation studio grew into a huge media giant. The Disney Brothers renamed the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio on February 8, 1926, as per the suggestion of Roy Disney, and moved its headquarters from Kingswell Avenue to 2719 Hyperion Avenue in the Silver Lake neighborhood of Los Angeles, just across the river from Atwater Village. Some of Disney's best films were born on this new site. It was later dubbed Hyperion Studio. The studio made short films until 1934, when it started making full-length movies. One of the first full-length animated movies was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which came out in 1937. Today, the original Hyperion Studio location of Disney is a grocery store. From Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs to Encanto in 2021, the company has made 60 full-length movies and hundreds of shorts. And it all started with two brothers simply trying to look each other out. These are Interesting Things with JC.